This is Tin Caps Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tin Caps on Deck, the Tin Caps pregame show brought to you, as always, by Hoopy Insurance Services. Final game of this six-game series. And what a series it has been between the Tin Caps and the Great Lakes Loons, the High A affiliate of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Loons won the first three games. The Tin Caps have come back and won the last two, and today a chance to salvage a split. It would be the second split in as many weeks. Tin Caps splitting 6 games on the road at Lake County last week. Last night, 4th of July. And as usually the case, one of the largest, if not the largest crowd of the season was here. Well over 8,100. And we get a chance to spend some time with Tin Cap team president Mike Nutter. And first and foremost, Mike, what was the atmosphere like from your viewpoint of last night? Obviously, the big crowd, longest game of the year in time and in innings played, 14 innings, 4 hours and 48 minutes. Tin Caps rose from the dead literally numerous times, and finally a bases-loaded single in the bottom of the 14th scored the winning run, 13-12 the final. You've had a few hours to digest everything that happened last night, but from your perspective, what was the night like?
It was an absolutely epic night. 95% of it was awesome. We came into the week with a tough-looking forecast on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Really tough all week with the oppressive heat. And the ballpark looked full. They were treated to a back-and-forth game. I mean, when Cross hit, there's so many people to single out. When Cross hit the 2-run homer to tie it, I was on cloud 9, but then I was also trying to figure out the fireworks because 50,000 people are downtown and wanting the fireworks show to go off at 10. And obviously that didn't happen, but we gave him a treat. Hats off to, I think his name is Falter.
Nick Falter.
Who took those innings and did it like a champ and was great. And so many back and forth things. The ballpark was buzzing. It was full. It was a really, really cool atmosphere. Our fans turn out. Somebody might say, well, I thought you were thinking that would be a top 10 crowd. It was hot. There was a high chance for rain. We sold it so well early that for several days we had only standing room only left. And for some people, they don't want that. I understand that. For $6 or $8, there's not a better deal in town, and there's not a better deal in minor league baseball. But it was awesome. When the fireworks show finally did go off, I think it might be the best show that's ever happened at this ballpark. Again, the city needed to move the location for a year. That's been well documented. And we just tried to make the best of everything that we could.
Knowing that last night, in all probability, was going to be the largest crowd of the season, in addition to the holiday, and of course, a special holiday, if you will, our nation's 250th birthday. Go figure how has this country survived for 2.5 centuries. But knowing that it was going to be the big crowd, were the preparations any different from a normal game for you and your staff?
Yeah, so that's a great question. They were. It's a longer window, right? So you're starting a game and the fireworks are scheduled for 10 p.m. Unbeknownst to us, it'd be at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
But the gates open at 4:30. There's oppressive heat. Now, not nearly as bad as earlier in the week. So what does that mean? That's loading up on an extra EMT or two in first aid. That's loading up on a couple of extra security just to make sure things stay in line. There was an unfortunate incident that we're not going to get into in this thing, but you get 8,000 people together. This wasn't an intoxication thing with alcohol. Somebody was totally out of line and an incident happened and was taken care of. I'm not making a bigger deal, but you plan for all those kinds of things because sometimes, whether it be a New Year's Eve, whether it be a July 4th, whether it be a lot of stuff, that we can host awesome, epic, amazing events. You just hope it's what this ballpark has been based on, and that's 18 years of world-class entertainment. And that's what that was last night. just with the longest game in a long, long time. I thought the extra innings rule was supposed to prevent 13, 14, 15 run games, but our boys just wouldn't be denied. And hat tip to Johnny Matthews, because he's been our manager here 2 years, and in both times he walked it off in the bottom of the ninth on July 4th. A couple years ago, it was our man Cedeno with the game-winning hit. And so the boys kept fighting. Series didn't start off great, but we got a chance to split it, like you said, today before they go on the road tomorrow. And we take a breath as a staff and regroup here in a couple weeks.
I have to tell you, before the game, I'm down the concourse, and I had a conversation with one of our great ushers, Janae Johnson. She of dance fame at the Coliseum with the Fort Wayne Comets. And while we were talking, this couple came up, and they were admiring the ballpark and what have you. And one thing led to another, and we found out that this couple was Steve and Lynn Cantwell.
Yeah, I met him a couple days ago.
Father of Luke. And they were just amazed, not only at the ballpark, they specifically mentioned you and the staff and how nice and courteous everybody was. I promised them I would mention their name talking with you today. And we got a little lucky. I was able to get them to get on the app. They're driving back to Philadelphia today, but they're going to hear this interview, and they're going to hear the entire ball game so that they can hear, and hopefully their son will play again today.
Well, what about that home run he hit?
A 2-run shot in the second inning.
That was what they call a no-doubter. And so I got to meet them both a couple days ago. And so just great people. This is a family game. We saw it earlier this year when, the Timber Rattlers were in town and they had a health scare with one of their players. Both teams rally together. Somebody'd tell you the Dodgers and Padres are supposed to hate each other. I don't even know if I believe that. I think the fans probably do too much sometimes. But this is a game of love, and it's a game that tests the mettle. But listen, them specifically, we got a lot of great kids and a lot of great families. Their kid came up through the ACC, played against the best of the best around this country, and now he is here, living out his professional dream. And he got to do it yesterday in front of that record crowd for this year, and it's just awesome stuff. So safe travels back to the Philly area, and we'll see you next time.
What does an experience like last night say not only about you and the organization, but about the city of Fort Wayne?
Well, that they turn out. I don't want it to be about me. I never really have. But our staff works incredibly hard. And listen, there's been a lot of stuff this week that wouldn't be ideal if you were scripting it. But I'm a guy that chooses to focus on the positive. So, we were 8,100 and some fans last night. Have we had bigger before? Yeah. But a day or two before, including the day of, the forecast was such that maybe we wouldn't even have played. So we focus on the positives. We focus that we led the Midwest League in attendance. And anytime you're home the same night as Dayton and West Michigan, that is no small task. We focus on it was a top 15 crowd in all of minor league baseball last night. After Thursdays was the second biggest, or maybe even the biggest this week around. And so there's a lot of positives. Our fans are amazing. People still talk about this venue, like you said, the Cantwells were doing yesterday. 18 years in, she's pretty darn beautiful. And not a day goes by, there's stress and there can be drama, but not a day goes by that I don't try and stop and take a breath and think it's a pretty special place to work and to be able to provide, what has become award-winning entertainment for a lot of people.
The series with Great Lakes finishes today. The team is on the road getting to see your friend Jim Jarecki and the West Michigan Whitecaps for the very first time this year next week. Then comes the Major League All-Star break. And following the break, the Tin Caps will complete what will be a 9-game road trip while playing 3 games at Lansing, the first time we have seen the Lugnuts since early April. So in essence, after today's game, it'd be over 2 weeks before fans can come back here to Parkview Field and see these Tin Caps in person, in action again. I I know there's a little bit of rest involved, but as you always like to say, no rest for the weary. And what's ahead once this next 2-week period comes by?
Well, I think it's okay to acknowledge it. The way you phrased it was perfect, but we need a little rest. The heat and the stuff. We lost some ushers this week to heat related illness. We had some falls. We had some ambulance stuff, and so we've got to get our bearings. Tell the staff they're off tomorrow. We just got to hit reset mentally and physically. Again, people know me. This is what I signed up for. I'm not a martyr. I'm not complaining. But you're 110 heat index for 4 or 5 days in a row. It just takes its toll. And so a little bit of stuff, but like we always say, I mean, this venue is rocking. I know Parkview's got events. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I believe that Rotary and the Forum and all those kinds of things, there's all kinds of meetings coming up this week. Just a lot of stuff. One of these road trips we're going on, there'll be a Pickle Palooza event here that Jim had up in West Michigan and Tyler had over in Columbus, and a really cool event that's really awesome. I'm looking ahead this weekend. There's a class reunion. There's a birthday and a retirement party. There's just all kinds of stuff. Holly does a great job of keeping it booming around here, and it's one of those things. But then we will get back. We need this little break because, again, I don't want anybody hearing this thing I'm negative. I'm not. We wouldn't have drawn up the ideal schedule the way Major League Baseball did for August. So we get to bank a little bit of energy and strength and just rest and stuff. And then we'll get back, and it's our friends from Lake County, Omir Santos, not to disparage anybody, but he's my favorite manager in this league. We just love him. It's not because I grew up a Tribe fan. He's just a great man and a great communicator. So they come in, and then we go up and see these loons, and then we're back. It's crazy scheduling, but we haven't had West Michigan at home all year, so we want to welcome Jimbo's team and Rene Rivera, I think it is, as the skipper, and meet him. And then it's back-to-back to end it at home, which is a tall task with a lot of the college and labor and gone and stuff. But my point is, we're going to keep this ballpark rocking. We've moved up to the 30th best attendance and 32nd in all of minor league baseball for 120 teams. Just absolutely awesome. And it's going to be another great year around here. Who knows? Maybe we can win this one and split the series. Maybe we can go 5-4 on the elongated 9-game road trip and see what happens. A lot of the teams in the Midwest League are very, very good right now. And we're one of those playing 500 ball right now. The Loons, to me, look to be the class. People don't like to say it, but the Dodgers are clearly the best team in the major leagues. And their system is the best, if not one of the best. And they've got top 100 guys all through the system. And people are asking me, why doesn't Quintero get called up? Why doesn't this guy get called up from the Loons? I said, because Hope and DePaula are there. And if you've been out here the last couple years, you've seen those guys. Say what you want, but the Dodgers do it right. I'm not a hater. I admire greatness anywhere in life. And their general manager is a former buddy of mine and a former player of ours that Brandon Gomes. Yep. And so that's what I got. We're going to see the fans back after today. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates today, and we'll be back for a loaded series against the Lake County Captains before those dreaded 3 words start to be spoken: back to school.
As always, my friend, a job well done for you and your staff. You deserve a minor break. Enjoy it, and we'll talk again in a few weeks.
Thanks, my friend.
That's TinCap Team President Mike Nutter. Back with more in a moment on the TinCaps Radio Network.
Podcasts by Federated Media.